Hi, this is Neas with Behind the Art Scene at KXVS, the Voice of Stockton. Today I'd like to talk to you about the Summer Art Splash. And I have my Summer Art Splash t-shirt on, if you can see the logo there. 6 years ago, a group of us started the Summer Art Splash. It's a downtown Stockton art walk. There's a lot of different venues around downtown that have artists displaying their work. There's dancers, musicians. This year we're going to have some theater, and there'll be a nice reception at the Transit Center. So 6 years ago, this all started after the Downtown Stockton Alliance. They had held the art walk for, I think it was about 5 years, and they decided they weren't going to do it anymore. So a group of us artists, we got together and said, yeah, we'd like to take that on. And that was Arturo Vera, Barbara Zaruba, myself, Susan Winton. So all of us, we got together, and we decided to put on, we changed the name to Art Splash. Actually, that was my husband's idea, Frank Neas, and we were brainstorming new names and what would get people's attention. So he said, how about the Art Splash? So at first it was called the Summer Art Splash, and we had it for 3 months of the year. And then several years ago, we extended it, so now it's 6 months. So it's May through October, the second Friday of each month, from 5 to 8 in the evening. And the reason we wanted to do that, at the time when this all started, Barbara Zaruba, she was at the Crest, the San Joaquin County Law Library in the Crest building. And she had she was the director of that, the San Joaquin County Law Library. And she had a real eye for art and went out and found artists to display throughout that whole law library setting. They have a beautiful space in the Crest building, 2 large rooms. And artists came and they showed their work. And she usually would book those artists and have them up for about a month at a time. And then she also planned a lovely reception for those artists. So we coordinated with the Mexican Heritage Center. I'm also a member of the Mexican Heritage Center. This year is our 20th anniversary in downtown Stockton. Right now we're located at the corner of Market and Sutter, 111 South Sutter Street. And so we coordinated with the Mexican Heritage Center. They would always have their receptions on the second Friday of the month. And then Art Expressions of San Joaquin, Arturo and Ana Vera, they started the Art Expressions of San Joaquin, a group of artists actually formed right after the Tidewater Gallery had closed down. And but they were exhibiting over at the County Administration Building on the corner of San Joaquin and Weber. And so they always held their receptions that same night too. So those were our three anchor venues to begin with, the Mexican Heritage Center, the County Administration Building, and the Crest San Joaquin County Law Library. Then I started going out and recruiting other venues. One of the first recruitments I got was the San Joaquin Pride Center, and they're right on Sutter Street in the Newberry building, right across from the Transit Center. And they were probably one of our best venues for many, many, many years. Every year, to begin with, we had put up display racks in their space and had art all throughout their space. And then they decided, they wanted to get a hanging system to put the art on the wall. So, they invested in a hanging system. So instead of having the display racks covering, most of their floor area, all the art was displayed on the wall. And then they started having just lavish food spreads with baked potato bars and nacho bars, and every month was a different treat. And that was the place to go, was the San Joaquin Pride Center. Since then, last year they ended up moving upstairs over their original location, and I don't think they'll be participating, not in this first, in the May Art Splash, hopefully in the future. Our first Art Splash of this season is this Friday. It's May 12th from 5 to 8 p.m. Right now, there's a number of new venues. The venues are always changing in downtown. So right now we have the Mexican Heritage Center is having their exhibit reception on a different day, so they won't be participating in May. Hopefully they'll be back in June. But we'll have the Crest lobby, and we'll have a whole display of different artists and community groups. Anyone who would like to show their art, who would like to perform, if you want to, pass out your literature about what you're doing in Stockton, you can contact me. I'm on Facebook. We have originally the Art Splash was called the Summer Art Splash. So the Facebook group, there's a Summer Art Splash, and that's all one word. Art Splash is all one word. You can look on Facebook and request to join the group. Or you can get a hold of me, Joy Neas, Neas. My email is dibsonart, DIBSONART @yahoo.com. And right now I'm the coordinator for the Art Splash. This year we, for our kickoff for May, we have some exciting things happening at the Transit Center, the RTD Transit Center. It's right on Weber Avenue, on the corner of Weber and Sutter. There'll be two exhibits. One will be in the lobby of the Transit Center. That's put on by Art Expressions of San Joaquin, Arturo and Anna Vera. And then also they'll have a lovely reception in the boardroom of the San Joaquin County, the Regional Transit District, RTD, the Transit Center. So the lobby is furthermost east. It's where you enter the building. So those doors will be open, and there will be a whole art display in there. And if you come back towards the corner of Weber and Sutter, there'll be a door, and that's a boardroom, and there's be art in there, and music and food, so you can go see those displays. There's a new business, actually several new businesses right across the street on in the Newberry building. So the former location of the Pride Center, it's now called Roadfinch, and they'll have an exhibit. On the corner is La Dolce Vita. It's a bakery, and it's right on the corner of Sutter and Weber. They'll have an exhibit. Right around the corner is Natural Dew. They just celebrated their first anniversary. They're a beauty salon. They currently have an exhibit up. They find their own artists, and they have some display racks that are permanently attached to their walls. So you can always like go in there and look at their beautiful art and have your hair done. Then right next to them is the Fawns Museum. That's the Filipino American National Historical Society. Their national museum is here in Stockton. So you can go inside of the museum. They're usually open on weekends. For the Art Splash, that's a Friday night from 5 to 8. They'll be open. You can look at their displays. They have a lovely photo display by James Sabretto. He's a photographer. He teaches up at Sac State, and it's called Mexipino. It's how Mexicans and Filipino, how the cultures have come together, and a lot of that has happened here in Stockton. So he has a photo exhibit, and there'll also be some musicians playing some music throughout the evening. So if you haven't got a chance to see the Filipino Museum, now's your chance. And then if you go to the corner, the County Administration Building, San Joaquin and Weber, it has a big glass front on it. There will be an exhibit from Art Expressions of San Joaquin, and there's a dance group called VIP, Yes. I still have to find out what that stands for, but they've been doing some remarkable dances for the last few years, and I think they just got their own new dance studio building. I tried to visit that today. I still have to find out exactly where they're located, but I saw pictures. They're moving into their own space, and I expect really great things from them and for them to continue the good work they're doing. So they'll be at the County Administration Building from 5:30 to 6:30 p.m. The County Administration Building and the Transit Center, I just wanted to say that they'll have special hours. They will close at 7 p.m. All the other locations will be open till 8. Then we have the Crest lobby. So inside of the Crest building, it's KRESS. I think it's 20 North Sutter. It's in between Main and Weber. It's about mid-block between Main and Weber on Sutter. And they have just a stunning lobby space. Mahala Burns, she works for court companies. And her brother, when they were remodeling the building, her brother painted just a stunning mural on the wall of the law library. And that's the first thing when you come inside of the lobby, you see this mural. And art just enhances buildings. The architecture of the Crest building, it's just breathtaking from the facade. When you come inside, all the wood floors, the curved windows, and then he added this lovely mural about justice, kind of in sepia tones. So that's just a work in itself, a beautiful thing to see. So we'll have some artists in there, some different community groups. You can see what they're doing. And then one highlight of the evening, if you go just about a half block south, it's on the corner of Main Street and Sutter. It's the Court Tower. They call it Court Tower. And inside of that building, so it's a huge, really tall, I think about 11 stories tall building on the northwest side of the street on Main and Sutter. And if you go in the first floor lobby to the end of the lobby, you'll go through some doors, and that is called the Right Place. That is a new writing center that Paula Scheel, she's a instructor at Delta College, and she's done just wonderful things with writing and poetry, and really kept the writing arts alive in Stockton. And now she has started this place called the Right Place, a writing center, and she will be giving tours of that location. I helped to move in some of the furniture. She had furniture donated from Delta College. If you ever want to set up a business, a nonprofit space, Delta College donates a lot of furniture, a lot of office products, a lot of things that, could really help you get started, set up a business, and save you thousands of dollars in those, office equipment costs. So several months ago, a big U-Haul truck brought over all these supplies to the Right Place, and a whole bunch of us volunteers, we took all the chairs, the desks, all the different things off of the truck and moved them into the Right Place. And Paula has been working to set that up. She's been painting murals, and another group that is in the Right Place is Tuleberg Press. Paula has a publishing company, an independent publishing company in Stockton who looks for Stockton authors to publish, and they've published several books now. And then we have With Our Words, that's with Tom Brisbane, and that's poetry, spoken word for youth. And so all of those nonprofits, those groups, are in this Right Place, and Paula will give you a tour and show you what's happening there, how you can get involved. There will be classes, there'll be events. She's still putting all that together. She's offering, different workshops and experiences for school groups, for, various groups, maybe Boy Scout or Girl Scouts, Campfire Girls. If you have a group of kids who'd like to learn something, I'm sure she would love to show you. She has an old-fashioned printing press. They're going to be doing some printing and making of books and book arts, and then you can be there and write and do anything that you want to do with the spoken word, the written word. So that's a treat. And then finally we have Tosco. We have Telling Our Authentic Stories Theater Company, and that is it's a new theater company. I think they've been around about a year, and they've moved into a location on California Street. It's on the corner of California and Fremont. It's about 2 blocks north of Minor. If you just, you could walk up or you could drive up. It's on the left side of the street, coming from Minor. And it's on the corner there. They have a flower shop. It used to be called Cazales, Cazales. Now I think it's Stockton Floral. But right before you get to the flower shop is the theater company, Tosco. And they will be having some skits, some theater games. We're going to paint one of the walls with chalkboard paint. Actually, I was inspired by, they had an art night at Mile Wine recently, and I was told that they were going to paint all the different walls in Mile Wine with this chalkboard paint, and we could use chalk, like sidewalk chalk, to draw designs. So when I got there, there was one area that people could, it ended up being paint designs. So they had paints provided, and everybody was painting on the ceiling. So I thought, well, why don't we try to do some chalkboard art? And if you guys want to come and, draw your designs, we'll have chalk provided. And you guys can, make a lovely creation, and, maybe it can stay on there for a while, and then we'll, just wash it off, and we can keep on making different designs and different inspirations. So I hope to see everyone up at Tosco. It's just a wonderful space. Actually, the main room is about 36 feet long by 12 feet wide, and they'll be having theater productions there. And then there's also an adjacent parking lot. They can do some outside activities. I went there the other day, and they were having an antique sale from the flower shop. They had a variety of, antiques and different arts and crafts, and then Tosco. Some of the Tosco performers were in that parking lot, and they were doing a play, a little skit. So, people were sitting there in chairs and watching the play and shopping, and just the space, instead of being used for cars, was being used for art. And that's my favorite thing to see. So that's why we really need things like the Art Splash. The Art Splash, so many, it's a community showcase. Anyone who would like to show their art, show their visual art, their performing art, their dance, their music, any of the talents that they have, you're welcome to come and just let me know. I'll put you on the program. I'll find a venue for you. And that's what us artists, we really need, So often artists, we're just kind of by ourselves, and we're making art. But why do we do it? We need people to see it and to share what we've done, to give us encouragement and say, oh, I really like that. Oh, that's really nice. Did you do that? And that's something that the Art Splash has done, I think. This is our 6th year. Just to keep something going in Stockton. Stockton, we start so many wonderful things, but you got to just keep it going year after year after year after year. There's some institutions like the Hagen Museum. I think they're almost well, I think it was their 86th anniversary. So they've been around, just forever. The Stockton Art League, they've been around since 1936. So they've been around I think it was 81 years. So these are the things. The Stockton Symphony. I think that they've been around about 90 years. So that's when our modern art history really started in Stockton. A while back, I put a post on Facebook, and I said, we need to just really catalog our history, the history of the arts in Stockton. And, I'm not talking about going back to, when Stockton was first founded in 1850. There are some books out there that tell about the early art history, performance history in Stockton. Stockton was such a thriving place when it first started. And, people from San Francisco, they would take a paddle wheel boat. They take a boat to Stockton all through the Delta, and they come up to Stockton, or they take a train and they come and, some of our buildings that we have in downtown, I researched, we have the commercial building, the Hotel Maine, the Hotel Terry. But the Hotel Maine and commercial building, the commercial building, that was built in 1874. And people would come by train. They'd get off. There was a train depot up on Main Street. It's close to by where the Cabral station is, where the Ace train is, but it was like one block over. And people would get off, and then they would take a horse-drawn carriage down the street and stay at the commercial building. It was a hotel there. That was a 2-story hotel. 4 years later, in 1878, they added a whole nother story, so it became a 3-story hotel. In 1884, so 10 years after it all started, they added a whole second building, which is the Hotel Maine. So that whole corner, we're talking about the corner of Maine and California. That whole area was built by 1884. And that's one of our oldest buildings in Stockton. And I just can imagine people coming here. And then there were all these theaters downtown, and you had live performance, vaudeville, and famous actors and actresses and singers and productions. They would come, and this was the entertainment capital. And before, everybody would go use Stockton as a way station before they would go to look for gold and, go somewhere else. But a lot of, the beginnings of Stockton was entertainment. So that's the early entertainment history. But then in, about 90 years ago, we had the symphony, we had the Hagen Museum, the Stockton Art League. All of these more recent art developments came about, but still 90 years. That is a long, long time. That's how old the symphony started, when my mother was born. And so we want to show off what we have in Stockton. And right now, how I got involved, I came to Stockton about 25 years ago, and there was a thing called First Night. And it was in downtown. over in Boston, the first night started over in Boston. It was a family-friendly art night on New Year's Eve. And there was no alcohol, but you had all kind of venues and all kind of artists. So it was almost like having an art walk, that people would go around to all the venues and see all the art. And then at midnight there would be fireworks and everything. So I ended up organizing the visual arts for that for 4 years. We ended up having First Night in Stockton for 8 years. When First Night stopped, then the art walk started, and that was the Downtown Stockton Alliance started putting on the art walk. Then after that stopped, the Art Splash came. So we've had this whole kind of art history going back probably about 20 years. And we want to just keep on going with the Art Splash. And so many different artists have come through, musicians have come through, and different genres, different mediums. Our youngest artist that we ever had was Penelope Adami, Penny Adami. At the time, she was 5 years old, and she had won a contest from the Downtown Stockton Alliance. They had placed a bunch of mural panels on the Hotel Maine that I was talking about, and she was one of the winners. So I invited her to show her display of art. And she was, at the time, there was a beauty salon right next to, so there was a beauty salon right next to the Pride Center. Next door to the Pride Center. It was called the Beauty Bar Salon. And Penny Adami, she set up, we had display racks, and she put all of her little art pieces on those display racks, and she was 5 years old, and she was able to display her art. So, if you have a young child who enjoys art, I'd love to be able to show student art, all ages, any kind of mediums. If you do performance, we've had different performers. We've had mariachi, folklorica, ballet. There's an Indian dance form. I think it's Kathak. I'm not saying that right, but there's an Indian dance form we had. So we're just looking for all different kind of all the different cultures of Stockton, and I'm really excited to have the Filipino museum. Stockton has so many different cultures, and we're so fortunate to be here in Stockton. Before I came to Stockton, my mother, she had gone to 33 countries, and she introduced me. She helped me love other cultures. And when I came to Stockton, that was when I got to actually meet the people from the different cultures and experience their traditions, see their festivals, see the parades, see the lavish costumes, the outfits, the beautiful art, but really be immersed in culture. From the beginning of the year, we start off with Martin Luther King Jr., a festival for Martin Luther King Jr. Then we go to the Chinese New Year. We have the Sikh Parade. We just had the Cinco de Mayo Parade. There's a 4th of July Parade. There's festivals for Juneteenth. There's festivals for the Obon Festival is a Japanese festival. at the Buddhist temple on Shimizu. The Barrio Fiesta, it's a Filipino festival at the Filipino Plaza. There's also the Mexican Heritage Center since we've opened. We've had annual Day of the Dead, Dia de los Muertos, altars and processions, and then we do that for Christmas, for Navidad. We have a posada around the downtown with the Virgin Mary and Joseph, and then we go around to different stores, different businesses, and it's a tradition. They sing a song asking to come in, that Mary and Joseph need a place to stay. And each of the places, they refuse, Mary and Joseph. They said, oh, there's no room. And then finally, we end up going to the Mexican Heritage Center, and the Mexican Heritage Center says, yes, come in. There's room. And everybody, we are able to go into the Mexican Heritage Center and see the beautiful nacimientos, or nativity scenes, that all the different community members have put up. So such rich traditions. There's the Cambodian festival and Hmong, Vietnamese. It's just endless. Oh, we have the Greek festival. So I had never been, ever had experienced those things myself firsthand until coming to Stockton. So, seeing all the beautiful architecture and all the cultures, all the art, I just think this is the greatest place I've ever seen in all my travels. Just how we all come together here, right in here in Stockton. And this isn't something new. Paula Scheel has been doing work with, writing for years and years. Valacoba has been doing work with theater. Dorothy Percival has been doing work with dance. Nancy Memory has been doing work with dance. Tama Brisbane has been doing work with spoken word. All of these people have put their whole hearts into Stockton for years and years, decades. And, now, like I've been here, next year will be 25 years. And that's every waking moment I put my heart into doing something for the arts in Stockton. So now, we have a lot of younger people coming up, a lot of just tremendous people, Jasmine Leake, Jasmine Delafosse, Sarah Neely, Raya Looney, Kia Duras, Ernest Thomasy, Chris Jones, just on and on, Matthew Amen. And they're all starting different groups and wanting to do these wonderful things, the 1850 Collective and Skill House Collective and Golden Hour Project and Third City Coalition and Project Gia and on, Reinvent South Stockton. These are the leaders that are coming into the future. And, I'm proud to work with these people and, all the people from Stock Market, Good Stock Productions. And, these are the people that are producing, other events, new things that, I can only dream of. And so what art is all about is, it's what you imagine, it's what you think about, it's what you talk to other artists about, it's the collaborations that you come together, that you say, oh, I want to do this. You put it out there, and then you tell somebody, and if someone else says, oh, I'd like to help you, do that. And I'd like to do this. Well, could you help me do that? And then you're helping each other. And it doesn't mean like, oh, if you're doing one thing, then, oh, you're taking away from somebody else. No, it just means you're adding. You're even adding more. So, I mean, all these new people, they're even adding more than I have ever thought of. And, you know, together we can even do more than we ever dreamed of. What I've been devoting a lot of my time with now is chalk drawing. And that is actually, I learned all of that in Stockton. I think it was probably about 20 years ago. I need to look that up. But they had a chalk festival in the middle of the Groupie parking lot on March Lane. And, you know, it's out on the black asphalt. You know, no cars were parked there. And we took over the parking lot and we drew on the parking lot. And I did that there a few years. And then the festival, it moved over to the Marina Marketplace. And all in and around the shopping center. There's sidewalks all around the shopping center and all in the parking lot. So, you know, a whole bunch of us artists, we went over there and we drew over there. So I did that a few years. Then I went up to Sacramento. They had a chalk festival called Chalk It Up. It's around a park. It's like 4 sides of a park, and you just draw on the sidewalk, and they leave those drawings there until they wash off. They had a chalk festival at Broadway Plaza in Walnut Creek, and I did that several years. So I've been, you know, going around trying to perfect my drawing. And then last year I started drawing a little bit. I did The Great Big Read, and I did some drawings of children's books. And, you know, the Downtown Stockton Alliance, Cindy Fargo, she saw what I had done and said, oh, I'd like to have you do drawings around the downtown. So I've been doing all kind of drawings all over the downtown, and she wants me to continue that, so you'll be seeing more drawings. The Children's Museum, I had talked to the head of the Children's Museum a while ago, I don't know, probably 5 years ago. The head was Yvette. And I said, oh, it would be nice to have a little, you know, a chalk festival here. So we, you know, I planted the idea, but it never happened. And then Marianne Prato took over, and I said, oh, you know, can we do that chalk festival? So we ended up having 2 chalk festivals last year, and in their back patio area, they put together just a wonderful little chalk festival. There was an area against the building where you could do, like, I think there was some painting on with a washable paint on a drop cloth, so you could do some of that. But then, you know, you can wash it off. They had several drawings made up in a grid form, and said, you know, oh, this is how you can enlarge a picture. So it can show you, okay, if you have a certain drawing and you want it to be larger, so it could help you enlarge the drawing. So people were doing those drawings on the sidewalk surface. And then in the main area of the patio, a whole bunch of us different artists came together and we were drawing. And it was a multicultural theme. So I love taking pictures at all the festivals and everything. So I brought some of my pictures, and I drew the one of the lion dancers from the Chinese New Year, and I drew the Sikh temple, and I drew the Hmong dancer, and the reclining Buddha statue at the Cambodian temple. So those are the kinds of things that can be achieved just if you have a thought and you pursue it and you say, okay, I want this to happen, and how can we make this happen? And I have a website, and one of the things I always think about is it's called the Yes Challenge. If the word no didn't exist, and you told someone your idea, so I'm always thinking of crazy ideas, and people are, oh, you're really crazy. But instead of just saying, oh, you're really crazy, they would say, oh, how can we actually make this happen? What steps can we take? What can we do to actually make this happen? So instead of saying no, you say yes. And then you say, okay, how do you make this happen? I watched a really inspiring video. One of my friends, Kimia Mitrahina, she's a African dancer, and she just graduated from a school in Belmont. This is Notre Dame de Namur. And when I was watching the video, they have a historic mansion on the campus of this university. It's the Ralston Mansion. So it had fallen into some disrepair, and they needed some money. And there was a man, he said, okay, I'll donate $6 million to you. But you have to raise matching. You have to raise $6 million. Okay, if you raise less than $6 million, I'm not going to give you any money. So the school got together, and they were able to identify all the different people in their mailing list, in their contacts, that had the capacity to give large sums of money. And they were able to raise more than $6 million, so they received another $6 million. So they raised like almost $13 million to restore this mansion. Now I think, maybe we could do that in Stockton here. All the people that, if each of us gave something towards the arts, towards actually having just an all-around arts center. They have an arts center in Lodi, and they have an arts center in Tracy. Let's have one in Stockton. Have one that you can have performance, you can have workshop space, you can have exhibit space, you can have everything in one building. You don't have to go to this place and to that place and the other place. And I think probably $2 to $3 million could get us an art center. So, if they can we do that actually here in Stockton? In Belmont, they raised $13 million. Could we raise the $3 million here in Stockton? So let's think about that. Say yes to that. If you guys have venues for the Art Splash, if any performers, I'd love to hear from you. Right now I'm finalizing the performers. So we have 9 different venues. We have the County Administration Building. We have the Crest Lobby, the Right Place. We have Fawns, the Fawns Museum, Natural Dew, La Dolce Vita, Roadfinch, the Transit Center, and Tosco, Telling Our Authentic Stories Theater Company. So there's 9 different venues. If we have enough people, we possibly may be able to go into Channel Brew, the Channel Brewing Company, and Cast Iron, the Cast Iron Trading Company. So, but right now we have 9 venues, and if you guys want to come show your art, your music, your performance, you can make it whatever you want to make it. If there's a school group, I'd love to have the Weston Ranch Visual Arts Boosters. You have some groups that are trying to raise money to help the arts. If you want to come out and sell some of your pottery. Also, I've told the KXVS staff, if they want to have a table, sign people up for memberships for the radio station. Just anyone who would like to come out needs to contact me. And then all the public, you go from place to place. It's pretty walkable, just a couple blocks on Weber. And from the south, you go down to Maine and then up to Fremont. Okay. So, maybe if you want to go to Tosco, you could drive your car there. That's a couple blocks north of Minor. But really, the Art Splash is whatever, whoever in the community wants to take part. There's no fees. It's free to the public. It's free to the artist. We have display racks. We'll put up display racks. You can bring in your pieces. You could bring in your table, your displays. If you need special arrangements, other display needs, you can let me know. I'll see what I can do for you. But it's really whatever you guys can imagine. We had the Red Dragon Youth Theater in one year. They did a scene from their play. And, that was just wonderful to get a preview of the different plays that they're doing. They'll be doing some more plays in June, just to see what's happening in the community and to learn about different artists. Mondo Mariscal, he, now he's burst on the music scene. He's over there in Nashville. He's done some put some songs together and he's really becoming known. He played at the Art Splash. We had Katie Rogers play at the Art Splash. All the different, whoever would like to play can play there. So you just sign up and come out. So I just wanted to say, like with Kimia, each of us, when we're doing our art, it's our passion. We want to pursue it, and we want to try to get better and train ourselves and find places to show off our talents. Kimia, she's gonna, she's one of the most giving performers and instructors that I've ever met. She has taught at the Podesta Teen Center, at Delta College. She gets out there at the fairgrounds. She's going to be at the San Joaquin County Fair. She was at the Asparagus Festival. She's always looking for venues. I think she's going to send some of her students are going to be in the Art Splash this year. So she wanted to perfect her skills and learn some new skills. That's why she went through a whole nother master's program and just graduated. So now, she was just in they had a Sister City fundraiser at Ave on the Mile, and she was singing at that fundraiser. So she's just stretching herself. Donna Marie, she's the founder of Tosco, the Telling Our Authentic Stories Theater Company. And she told me, I go to Delta College. I'm saying, well, why do you do that? And she says, to learn new skills and new techniques from new teachers, things that she may not know, and to be connected to the college. So to keep that connection with Stockton, to find out, who the other actors are, some other, techniques, how she can improve herself, what, something she may lack, or, but then that also keeps her connected to finding people for her theater company. So we're always trying to find those connections and networking, and so I go to all these different arts events. I love going to them, but I want to keep connected to find new performers, new artists, people that I might otherwise not, I wouldn't have known otherwise. So, as an artist, I want to hone my skills, but then I'm also helping hone other people's skills, giving other people opportunities. And that's what the Art Splash does. So I hope you guys can come out this Friday, May 12th, 5 to 8 in downtown Stockton. If you start at the Transit Center, that's right where all the buses come. It's RTD, the Transit Center, right on the corner of Weber and Sutter. And you'll see all there'll be signs out there. This year, the fifth year, for 5 years we had pink ribbons. Now we're going to have blue ribbons. So blue ribbons will be fluttering in the wind. So wherever you see a blue ribbon, that's an Art Splash venue, and you can go in and see some great art. And with that, I think I'll wrap it up. And this is Joy Neas for Behind the Art Scene at KXVS. I hope to see you at the Art Splash this coming Friday, May 12th, 5 to 8 p.m. Start at RTD and go to the 9 venues. Thank you.